Sheriff's Department. My son was obtained by the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Department, and he was photographed. He was asked to take off his shirt because he was detained by the gang task force who worked security at the state fair. He was asked to disrobe, to take off his shirt because they was checking for gang tattoos. You're supposed to have something tattooed across your stomach, something across your back, and something in between your fingertips. Of course, my son had none of those markings. He's an honor roll student at St. Stephen's Catholic School. So my son was placed into a Hillsborough County Sheriff's Department's vehicle and transported 10 minutes away from the fair, and basically released 100 yards away from the interstate with no notification to anybody, just basically abandoned outside the road. And as he was trying to get back to the safety of the fairgrounds, he was hit on I-4 and killed by Jonathan Hatfield, a 19-year-old white male from Bartow, Florida, that was coming from the fair going to the casino. You know, in my world, he was coming from the bar going to the bar. And Jonathan Hatfield wasn't given a ticket. He wasn't asked to take a breath test, and he was allowed to leave the scene in the vehicle that just struck my son with his remains all over the front grill, like nothing had happened. Now, 2 weeks later, Jonathan Hatfield was stealing TVs out of Walmart. 2 weeks after he ran over my son on I-4, he was in Bartow stealing flat screen TVs out of the Walmart and basically rolling through the garden center with them. Now, the Walmart noticed that these TVs were disappearing out the back and wasn't coming through the register, so it was really watching these TVs over the weekend. He had got away with 2 TVs and was coming back for the 3rd TV on that Sunday. On that Sunday, they apprehended Jonathan Hatfield and arrested him. And bloodshed was collected at the scene of the crime at Walmart. You know, Jonathan Hatfield was testing positive for the opiates, the pills that they're taking now. So, you know, we've been fighting for justice. I mean, this is not a black thing or a white thing. This is a human thing. And you know, he was a 14-year-old honor roll student that was portrayed as a gang member, and there's been no answers. It's been since February 7, 2014. It's been basically 2 years. We're approaching the 2nd year, and at this point, I don't even have a police report because there's been absolutely a shutdown on this situation as far as the authorities is concerned. So we've been fighting, trying to get justice, trying to get reports, trying to get some type of clarity about exactly what happened tonight. Because everything that the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Department and the Fair Authority has said has, you know, basically been a bold-faced lie. And we've been in court on other related matters. You know, my son was detained with 2 of his teammates. And his teammates have went to court, and all their charges have been dismissed from court. It was stated by Judge Lopez that, you know, the Sheriff's Department had no probable cause to arrest these kids. We also filed a complaint against the state troopers who failed to give Jonathan Hatfield a ticket, a breath test, seized the car, and they also have been given citations. So the policies and procedures that was followed on the interstate was incorrect as well. So every authority or figure that's involved in this case has basically been proven guilty in a court of law. And, you know,
culpable.
And at this point, we're fighting for justice. Just basically not to have another family stand in the shoes that we're standing in right now. Because, you know, it's extremely difficult, especially over these holidays, to have to go to the graveyard to visit your child. I mean, it's, you know, it's heartbreaking. It's grief like nobody should ever be. I mean, it's just totally ridiculous at this point. And we're just fighting for justice. For there won't be another family that has to stand in these shoes, because basically, this will kill the average Joe. We believe in our heart that, you know, my son led a great life, and, you know, his death will not be in vain. And we're fighting to have his name, monuments and things, and streets named after him down at the fair. And we have collaborated with a lot of other families that's going through this struggle. The Michael Brown family, they'll be here with us for the 2nd year anniversary. The Tamir Rice family will be here, as well as the Oscar Grant family, as well as the Emmett family, and many, many more. So, you know, we're just pushing on and hope that this doesn't ever happen again around the world, especially here in Tampa.
Andrew, it's a pleasure always to see you, because every time I see you, what I'm saying, I can see you still going on every meeting we go to. Can you tell the audience, is there anyone out there that you can name, if you had to name 10 organizations or 10 people that's really been trying to support you in your endeavor to get justice for the death of your son?
I mean, there's so many. I mean, Tampa has really standing up behind this behind this situation. There's so many names of groups, and I would hate to eliminate or forget anybody, but I know there's groups like the Black Lives Matter here in Tampa, and Defenders, the Dream Defenders, and Tampa for Justice, and all type of churches, organizations, the fathers, the pastors on patrol, and just the whole community have come around, and a special thanks to Crunkman, who's really in County Burton, who's really the heartbeat and the backbone of the community, has really stepped up to the par and gave us all types of assistance with this. And we're looking for everybody to participate in the march this year, as well as my son's banquet. And we have had Congressman Alan Grayson write a letter to Attorney General Loretta Lynch on behalf of my son and asking for a DOJ investigation. So there's been a stand-up by the political group as well as Mr. Ed Narain as well.
Okay, I don't know how most people outside that came across a situation where you have a child that's killed, and there's culpability for a lot of agencies. You say the Florida Highway Patrol didn't give a ticket to the guy who got away, the sheriff department who took him from the scene, the fair, maybe the school board. So you got like a lot of entities here in Tampa that if a lawyer that was in this case would have a lot of people he would take as defendants. So they're trying to do the best to keep you from getting this information.
That's correct. And how the Florida State Fair is set up, the media as well as the newscasters, they are actually sponsored by the fair department, by the fairgrounds. They hold their press conference as well as their new broadcast from the fairground on opening day. So this is major sponsor money for them. In a lot of situations, this event has been suppressed in the general media. But we have done an extraordinary job, a historical job over social media and internet-based programs like this one to get the voice out and get the word out. And I believe at this point we've been very successful, because this is not the work that I'm doing or the work that my wife is doing. This is God's plan that we're rocking.
Amen,
right
preacher. Now. Amen. For those of you who are listening out there on the air this morning, we have Mr. Andrew Joseph in the studio. I'd like to thank Michelle as well for coming in. I'd like to thank Shanita for being here, also with Elliot. But I'd like to give a shout out. This is me doing this myself. The voice was set up so we can have things like this, so we can get our voices out to tell people what's actually going on in our community. A lot of times I found out from my travels to the U.S. Supreme Court, also to D.C., going to New York or whatever, that people are telling you like this. They'll hear your story, but they won't give you a response, so they're not culpable. So they can't say, well, you got me with this documentation. So you can actually say, you know what, we made a mistake, or actually, we're responsible for this incident. So what I found out as well, I'd like to ask Ms. Loretta Lynch at the U.S. Department of Justice. I asked Senator Marco Rubio to try to get us a meeting with the U.S. Department of Justice, not only myself, but yourself, Michelle, and people that got cases need to be heard. Right. Because right now you see the U.S. Department of Justice is going after people who are doing income taxes, the mob and everything, but we have a human rights issue that need to be addressed in America. Malcolm X went to the United Nations back in 64, 63 to get things done. Of course, you know what happened after that. He was assassinated. But he brought the United States on charges of human rights violations. Right now, it's no longer a homicide going on in America. It's genocide. They're killing us. We're being hunted and killed, and the grand jurors are saying, you know what, I found no probable cause. There's no accident. There's no death. So guess what? We just dropped the charges. So guess what? The person that's actually guilty of murder gets to walk away free.
You're right. And this is nothing brand new. We've been dealing with this for decades. This is the same situation that our fathers and forefathers has been dealing with. And just to give you a little history on this